So, good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome back again to another segment on Champions League. I've got my good friend here, James Rowe. We're going to be talking about Champions League, FC Porto. I won't give you a prediction over two legs. I think you probably already know my thoughts. But James, it's good to see you back again, James. How have you been keeping?
Great to be back. And can I compliment our attire for tonight? I think we do a grand job. We're matching home and away.
And we just saying with the cannon facing the right way as well.
The cannon facing the right way. Traditional colours.
Absolutely.
None of this colours of the rainbow rubbish. Mint green, purple, purple stripe. You know, Islington frequency, where we look like Dortmund in our current away kit. we're going old fashioned, and hopefully this will incentivize Arsenal fans to realise you don't need to buy all the new shirts. If you can afford one of these two, you're set for life.
Yeah, I mean this one's over 10 years old. I'm wearing. So
this one's 20 years old that I'm wearing. I bought it in 2004.
And still looking good.
Still looking good. Obviously with the just trying to think there with the badge, if you can see it, okay.
Brilliant. It's at 71. Yes.
Yeah. And Alex wearing the traditional red and white, you know, and this is Arsenal. This is proper Arsenal. This isn't a Arteta Kroenke loving, you know, San Francisco Reds or LA Bay Gooners. This is proper Arsenal, which is the way it should be.
Isn't there another kit that's come out dedicated to the Academy?
But how many players have we brought through the last decade to kind of ram that home? What, 2 or 3 or 4?
Oh my goodness!
Not even that. But again, it's another reason to fleece the fans. I mean, I hope that we inspire tonight. I hope people watching us tonight in the traditional 1971 home kit and the traditional 1971 away kit that commemorates one of the best squads we've ever had, winning the 1971 double, going into the European Cup for the first time, only to get beat by Ajax in the quarterfinal. So once again, we did not make our European Champions League debut against Lons in the Champions League. We played away to Strømsgodset of Norway, and then we beat them. Then we played FC Grasshopper Zurich, and we beat them. And we lost in the quarterfinals over 2 legs to an Ajax side who are on their way to winning the second of 3 in a row. That's no disgrace. For a maiden voyage, I think it's pretty good. And bearing in mind, this is a fantastic Ajax side that went on to win 3 European Cups in a row, where you had to win your league or retain the title to even gain entry.
Oh dear. What are we called, James? We're called legacy fans, aren't we?
We're called Arsenal fans, is what we are.
Okay.
We are Arsenal fans. With this on our chest is what we are. There is no differentiation between legacy, whether you were born last week, born last month. You've been supporting Arsenal since the 70s. I attended my first game in 1991. I've been following Arsenal from Amsterdam, of all places, for the last 12 seasons. But I am an Arsenal supporter like you are. So tonight's podcast also commemorates, this is the last shot Arsenal have got to win the Champions League before it gets changed to a Super League in everything but name next season. So I wanted to push the boat out a little bit and commemorate it. And we've got to really work hard against Porto. For all the Arsenal fans saying, we're in the quarters. Yeah, if we get a PSV or a Dortmund, we can even get to the semis, bruv. We got to put Porto away first. And it's going to be a lot more difficult than what people think it's going to be.
Yeah. James, I just kind of did a bit of my homework over the course of the history, FC Porto versus Arsenal. And I didn't realize it was so extensive since 2006. And the last time was the 9th of March 2010, although Arsenal got a win there. But I didn't realize we had met them so many times over the course of, 4 years? 4 years?
Yes, they are a club that's won 7 major European trophies, 2 European Cups / Champions Leagues, UEFA Super Cup as well.
Mm-hmm.
And, 7 major honours. It's fantastic going for a Portuguese club. 30 league titles, 19 Portuguese Cups. So we're not facing a minnow. We're facing a team that's achieved more in Europe than what we will, and what we have done. And we've got to respect them. If we don't respect them, we're out on our ear.
Yeah, absolutely. James, what can you tell us about the FC Porto manager?
Well, his box in terms of his press conferences, and a great player as well. People forget he was a brilliant footballer. He really was, to play for Lazio and for Inter, and at the end of his career, Standard Liège, was one of the best players at Euro 2000. I think he was crowned player of the tournament, when Portugal lost the semi-final to France. A brilliant footballer, first and foremost, Sergio Conceição. And as a manager, he fits Porto like a glove, in terms of charisma, tactically astute, very clever, and he will fancy his chances against Mikel Arteta. And that's why I think that it's going to be so tough. It really is. And another important point I want to pass on is, I said before, Alex, as well, you can't turn on European form like a tap. And the reason why I don't think we're going to win in Vidragal, I will reiterate my prediction of a draw towards the end of the show as well. I predict it will be 1-1. But we have we've drawn in Eindhoven. We've lost in Lens. We won in Seville. Last season, we lost in Eindhoven. We struggled against FC Zurich on a neutral ground. You can't go from those away results and then automatically think in the knockout game that you're going to win handsomely away from home. It doesn't work like that. And I think it's going to be a 1-1 draw. And I think we're going to have to work really hard, because another thing, I'm sure we'll touch on it during the show as well, should we progress, and I think we will over 2 legs, but by the skin of our teeth, should we progress, it will also impact on the title race. But as some fans hopefully already know, Alex, you can't pick and choose. I'm pretty sure that there are people who, if we lose to Porto, which is conceivable, that there are Arsenal fans that will say, oh, we can concentrate on the league now. But who's to say we're going to win that? And here's a question for you. If Arsenal don't win the league and get top 4 and don't win the Champions League, and Chelsea win the League Cup, in your humble opinion, who's had the better season?
Would have been Chelsea.
Exactly.
And our part would be failure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. We have treated the League Cup like a play school, but so we've literally vilified a trophy which was the very first trophy I ever saw Arsenal win back in 1993. I wasn't at the game. I watched it on TV, and my hero Paul Merson scored, and I still remember that day as if it was yesterday. It was such a special day. We've terrible in finals of the League Cup. 1969, obviously people will know, losing to Swindon. 88 against Luton Town, where we were winning 2-1 and we had a penalty which we subsequently missed. And also the defeats in 2011 and 2018 as well, against Birmingham and Manchester City respectively. Chelsea in 2007. We've literally cut our nose off to spite our face with that particular competition, and you can't pick and choose what you win. And we've got 2 chances to win a trophy, and should we not, then it's got to be adios to Mr. Mikel Arteta.
Yeah, but we know it's not going to happen. James, there's a question for you. So, you just spoke about cherry picking which competitions you think you can win and which you can't. I too believe that we've been not taking the League Cup very, very serious. Or I think it was George Graham's first trophy that he won. I think.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, 87
Right.
against Liverpool. You know, if Rush scores, Liverpool never lose. Well, he scored and we won. And that signalled a real change in shift with Arsenal. And you could see that under Unai Emery as well, which it's been underreported. I was at 9 games in the full season that Unai Emery had as manager of Arsenal. I went to 9 games that season, and really enjoyable to see him construct and to change the ethic of Arsenal Football Club. But he only got 18 months. You know, Roy Hodgson today, health comes first. Of course it does.
Absolutely.
But we are now entering territory where if Glasner, the manager of Frankfurt and Wolfsburg in the past, Oliver Glasner, if he is appointed, that is 14 of the 20 English Premier League teams having a foreign manager. So the only thing that's English is the locations. And it's quite conceivable that you could have the entire Premier League with foreign managers. That's not a good thing. Whether you are left of centre, right of centre, or in the middle, whatever your political persuasion, but you can't tell me that if one of the greatest nations of English football, one of the great football nations, to have their top tier, nearly all foreign managers, then it's all about the product, isn't it? It's no longer about the sense of community. It's no longer about we both hail from London. Like Arsenal is a big part of our lives as Londoners. If Arsenal were moved, that wouldn't be the same. London is a part of Arsenal, and Arsenal is a part of us. But I will say, to finish my point, Alex, our club seems to be absolutely, and I use the word punch drunk about globalism. We're global. I'll tell you this now. When you are banging the drum that you have a global identity, what you really have in reality is no identity at all. And I think from a footballing sense, I think that's a very, very dangerous slippery slope.
But James, is it not inevitable that, you know, we appear to be going that way, where it probably less than maybe 5 or 10 years time, like we've always said, going past the Emirates, we could probably say there used to be a football club over here, much like Highbury. There used to be a football club over here, and where are we now? We're, I don't know, Red and White FC, or I don't know. Is it just not inevitable anyway, James, that we're going that way?
Well, I will say one thing. For the memories that we have, and for the many Arsenal fans watching tonight, regardless of what you're told, you are a legacy fan or whatever you are, nobody can take your memories away from you. And let that be said. Nobody can take your memories away from you. I will be at the Porto game against Porto at home. It will be my 71st Arsenal game from Amsterdam since September 2011. I don't have a sponsor. I'm not paid to go. I choose to go. And also it will be my 34th European game as my life as an Arsenal supporter. 32 games at Highbury and the Emirates, the away game in Amsterdam, which changed my life, and the away game in Eindhoven in the Europa League. I've been so fortunate, but I'm in a position now where I can pick and choose what I do. If you were a young Arsenal fan starting out now, unless you've got really rich parents, you got no chance. Yeah. I used to do overtime in the W.H. Smith distribution centre in Bedfordshire on a Saturday to pay for my Champions League tickets. And I'd do it all again because it enabled me to see the likes of Auxerre, PSV, Dortmund, Ajax, Roma, Valencia, Schalke, Celta Vigo, Dynamo Kiev. You know, it's imprinted on my memory. It really is. Because it's as if fans are being conditioned now to only think a certain way. When we say all this globalism, but what they forget is you have to build a football team. You have to build a football team. And that means buying different players, seeing something in a different player and giving him the opportunity. I go back to my interview with Alan Smith. Scored 2 of the most important goals in the history of Arsenal Football Club. I spoke to Alan and he said the following to me: James, I could have gone to Man United. I could have gone to Chelsea. He said, but I looked at George Graham, I looked at Arsenal, and I thought they're going places. And I was proved right. Now, isn't that how it can still be done in this day and age? It can still be done. But I don't know many clubs that have the courage to do it, to let a manager do his job. But again, as Terry, who's made some great points on this platform, Terry once said, wherever there is big money, there is corruption. And the money is so big now that, as they say in the Netherlands, 1 + 1 is 2. And obviously, you put 2 and 2 together, as we say in English. But very, very strange times in that respect.
Yeah. But James, just kind of going back to the game FC Porto, are there any players that Arsenal need to be aware of?
Yeah. My first pick is Galeno, the Brazilian winger. He's like Quicksilver. He's just so quick. Really, really quick. Obviously played for Sporting Braga in the past. And he would look to take on our right back and our left back. He can switch between the two. The Brazilian striker, Evan Nilsson, he knows where the goal is. Obviously, he's Fluminense in the past in Brazil. Diogo Costa is a competent goalkeeper. Nico Gonzalez, who came through the youth academy at Barcelona. I watched the highlights of the game against Estrela de Amadora, and an amazing goal from João Mario for them to win the game 2-0. We've got to take it seriously. We really have, because we've had so many bites of the cherry. This is the last one. This is the last one. As you've often said, there is no tomorrow. And this is our last chance. And I have visions of Arsenal rocking up at the Dragao in their third kit, which is the European kit, which is green. We're not Plymouth. We're not St Etienne. We're Arsenal Football Club. And I just think that we're going to underestimate them. And that's the last thing we should be doing, because if it is a draw, which I predict, taking them back to the Emirates, we got a job to finish. And I've attended games from the Netherlands, for example, Bayern Munich, Monaco, Oostersunds, lost all 3. Rennes, where we were extremely lucky. Obviously, Lens was a great result last November. But I think a third of all my games from Amsterdam have been European, and we never seem to learn. And the attitude of the fans has got to be spot on. We are facing a team that's won this trophy twice. We've never won it. Let that sink in.
James, I agree with you. I just don't think the pressure is on Mikel Arteta to get this one done. And it all goes back to the ownership. And I can envisage the conversation. Mikel Arteta, just aim for the middle ground. Don't go below the middle. Don't go above. Just aim for the middle ground. And no matter what you do, your job is safe. I mean, how can you actually call our club ambitious? We've said it so many times, James. Last season, if there had been any other ownership, Mikel Arteta would have lost his job.
Yes, and specifically the ownership of Danny Fisman, Ken Fry, David Dean, particularly that ownership. Peter Hillwood. Yeah. If they were in charge, Arteta wouldn't even have got if they were in charge. Because not only were they competent businessmen, but they had Arsenal as priority number 1. And now we don't have that. We release kits almost every week. We bang the drum that we're global. People salivate about it. Literally salivate about it. For me, I shy away. I shy away. You know, when they seem to roll out the red carpet for the supporters club of Arsenal Slovenia. I don't get free tickets for Dom Zali. They seem to roll out the red carpet for Arsenal Czech Republic. I don't get tickets for Slavia Prague, and so on and so on. We seem to salivate about this globalism, but the first important thing in the entire country, and we're going into our 25th Champions League campaign. We've never won it, and to have accrued so much experience and to have never won it is nigh on embarrassing. It is nigh on embarrassing. I still can't quite believe that I was 11 years old the last time Arsenal won a European trophy. Fast forward to that 11-year-old who is now 40 years old, living in Amsterdam and attending Arsenal games from Amsterdam. 34 European games in between live within that space that I've attended, that I've seen with my own eyes. And I go back to the point, Alex, our attitude in Europe has been completely wrong. We have been using Europe as a cash cow, not about sporting performance. It's just money, 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 money. What about the sporting performance and the sporting achievement? What about that? But not once has it ever been spot on. The only time you could argue that it was spot on was the year we reached the final. But I think that year, Alex, we were carried on by the bittersweetness and the farewell of Highbury. Yeah. I think that carried us along a little bit. Yeah. If you're brutally honest, and as you know on this platform, specifically when speaking about European football, I am honest. I am, and I just think we will get through against Porto over 2 legs. I think it will be 1-1 in Portugal, and I think we'll win 2-1 at the Emirates, and then it's the quarter-final, and then it's an open draw. Who knows who we will face? But we've got to take every opponent seriously. This must not end in another glorious failure. And if it does, I will just vote with my feet, where I will attend European games next year if Arsenal are in European competition, but I will be extremely selective. I might even go for the opponent, not for Arsenal. Arsenal might get a Stuttgart, an Atalanta, a Bayer Leverkusen. I might go because I want to see them against Arsenal, see how they get on, you know. But I just feel that we need to take it extremely seriously. We really do.
Yeah, James, I looked at the Portuguese table as it stands, and so FC Porto are in third positions so far in their standings in their respective league. And anyone looking at that might say, well, in actual fact, beating Porto, knowing that we are second in the table and they're third, it is going to be a breeze to overcome FC Porto.
Did people not say the same thing last year when we drew Sporting Lisbon in the Europa League?
Yeah, they did.
So again, they don't learn. They don't learn. For me, we lost the title in that game, the home game. I'll tell you why. People go, oh, we lost it. No, we lost it when Mikel Arteta sends out his team with the final instructions, like any manager does, from amateur level to top level. And then 8 minutes later, he's going bananas. Someone needs to put nails around the technical area, so that when he steps outside of it, he steps on a nail. Because unless they need to clamp down on it. In some cases, he's literally on the pitch. I don't know if you saw the sending off for Carlos Corberán at West Brom, where he's touched the ball unbeknowingly, trying to help, and he got a red card.
Yeah,
because he was interfering with play. If you watch Arteta, almost does that every game, but nobody says nothing to him. If you're going doolally on the sidelines, that is not the recipe, and above all, temperament that you need to win a Champions League or to win a Premier League. He will hide it as passion. No, it's nerves and inexperience is what it is.
Do you know what, James? I get all this hullabaloo about the stats, that it's the first time that we won first straight games in a new calendar year, and the players and the Bukayo Saka and all these goals and the XG and this, that, and the other. But James, we haven't won any major honours, James.
No.
We have not won any major honours.
No.
So I understand it from their point of view, but over here, show me the honours.
Exactly.
Show me the honours. There is no honours.
No, and we have to finish the season. They say about goal involvements. Why can't you just say 50 goals and 50 assists? What is goal involvement? Why can't you just say 50 assists and 50 goals? Why you got to make it out something it's not? Saka's only won the FA Cup and a couple of Charity Shields. If he stays at Arsenal and wins absolutely nothing, I think that will eat him up as time goes on. You know, if you look at all our legends, what they all got in common? They all won stuff, didn't they? If you look at all our legends, Charlie George, Bob Wilson, George Graham, Paul Merson, Alan Smith, Ian Wright, Thierry Henry, Dennis Bergkamp, what they all got in common? They all won stuff. They all won stuff with Arsenal. And our current squad, yes, we're doing really, really well, but we've got to get over the line.
Exactly.
We've got to get over the line. And if we don't, that has got to be it. But I fully concur with you. Nothing will happen. But then I will vote with my feet. I will do that. If you look at the shirts we're wearing, it's the pride to wear this shirt, Alex. We don't need to buy the new one because we've got the best ones you can have. In your case, the best Arsenal shirt you can have. There's no need to buy another one. For me, I've had the 71 replicas for nigh on 2 decades, and I thought it was a nice touch to do the yellow and blue tonight, and the when we pre-record ahead of Porto, the red and white one. But I hope that it inspires Arsenal fans and makes them realise that you don't need to buy the latest shirts. You don't need to do it. Go out and buy a nice shirt. Go out and buy a nice pair of trousers. Go out and buy a nice pair of shoes. Or you can just buy one of these. And the job's a good one.
Yeah.
You know, all it takes is a little bit of willpower. I haven't bought a single Arsenal replica shirt since the 2008 season. For me, a match day programme and a ticket is enough. Is enough for me. Also saves on the storage. But again, it also saves on the storage. It really does. But all it takes is a little bit of willpower. That's all it takes. Yeah. You don't need to have the latest shirt to prove that you're a fan. You really don't. All you have to do is speak from the heart and give your opinion. And we've been doing it on this platform for many, many years. And we will continue to do it. And hopefully the people watching will appreciate it. But on this platform, neither of us has ever lied to people. But the fact is, we're vastly experienced as Arsenal fans. We've seen things with our own eyes, not through the eyes of an influencer, not through the eyes of someone telling us what we should think. We've seen it with our own eyes, and that means the world to me.
Yeah. Let's go into the live chat. There's only been a few comments. It's going to be a short show anyway, but who's this? Is Andromeda says offer you the Champions League. I'm not sure what he means by that or what they mean by that. And then we've got Colin who says, let's go, James. Speak your truth. We are at the portion of the season where the rubber hits the road. From Mikel Arteta, proving grounds are here.
Yeah. Well, no, I think it's very good. You know, the rubber hits the road. Let's hope he doesn't fall out of the car.
And I want to hear about Harry Kane, aka Karen Kane. Looks like he still won't be winning anything.
Right. Can I just say something?
Go for it, James.
I'm going to go on record now, not to cajole people, not to rub people up the wrong way. I still think Bayern Munich will win it.
Ooh.
Still think Bayern Munich will win it.
Are they in third place?
No, they're in second place. They're 8 points behind.
All right, yeah. 8.
But there's 12 games left. 12 games left. And I still think that Bayern Munich are going to get over the line. Right. I really do.
Okay.
I think Bayer Leverkusen. I think they're also in the German Cup and fighting on more fronts, and it's going to be really, really interesting. They're also in the Europa League as well. They're fighting on 3 fronts. It will catch up with them.
Yeah. And Colin finally says, I can't help it, James. I do love the gear. I criticize it, but I just don't have the willpower.
Can you say that again, Alex, please?
Yeah, he's basically saying that he doesn't have the willpower to not stop buying the Arsenal merchandise. He can't help himself.
Colin, this is the first step. Welcome to Arsenal Therapy. I am your host, James Rowe. Alongside me is Alex. Colin will help you. Colin, we can help you. First and foremost, it's much nicer to be able to go to a game than buy the replica shirt. People are always on about status. You know, you're watching Arsenal fans tonight. One Arsenal fan who started following them in the 70s. Another one who went to his first game in 1991. We don't have the latest shirt, but we inspire with what we're wearing tonight, and we hope to inspire people. Lots of people about status. You know, life is very short. You only go around once. You have to make the best of the resources you've got at your disposal. So I would suggest maybe look to buy a retro shirt. You'll grow to love it as well. You know, it'll be something that you have, not ever other people have. And as I say, and most importantly, Colin, it's not a competition. It's not a competition. Yeah. As I've been so fortunate to have, you know, as I say, touching almost 70 games from Amsterdam alone through the years, the last 12 seasons. The games I went to before I emigrated, and that kind of thing, you know, fantastic memories. But it's not a competition. It's something that's very, very personal, you know. And I would say just try when the new kit is released in the new season. Just try not to buy it. You can always come back to us in the meantime. We'll help you again.
Yeah. And actually, James, you know what happened when my wife first bought this for me? I remember walking around the Emirates. A lot of people were saying to me, "Where did you get this? Where did you get the old top from?" I was thinking, "Oh, yeah." And those are the tops I look for. I don't look for the tops of the last, 15 or 10 years. Yeah. When I see someone wearing the retro 1970s top, I'm thinking, right, okay, yeah, you're on my level. But you're right, it's not a competition. It is not a competition. But we always fall for it, James. The 7th kit, the 8th kit, the 9th kit, we always fall for it.
Yeah, but it's some fans where they seem to be hung up on status. Like, for example, floggers and stuff. If I was to sit down with a flogger and explain to them what I did, I think they'd fall off their chair. But I didn't have to record any of it. First and foremost, if you tried to flog at Highbury in the middle of a Champions League game at home to Roma, Valencia, Ajax, Dortmund, Auxerre, or PSV, people would say, "What on earth are you doing?" And secondly, it's memories. Yeah. Memories of who you spoke to. the conversations that you had. I remember when I went to Arsenal Bayern Munich at the Emirates, they beat us 3-1. Now, but that Bayern Munich team that won the treble is the best European team I've ever seen. And as I was leaving, I leant over the barrier and the steward looked at me and said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm going to shake that Bayern Munich fan's hand." And I can't speak German, so I just said, "Look, you've got an amazing team. Fantastic tonight. I hope you go on and win it." And he was shaking my hand so tightly, and I had to ask, "Can I have my hand back?" he will take that back. Communicate with him. The same way Lens. I'm coming back from the Lens game last November on the tube, and I'm holding the door open for people to get in, and there's 2 French fans coming from Lens, and I start chatting to them in French. My French isn't great, but I managed to make myself understood. And it's memories like that, because also what floggers are, what they're projecting, it isn't football. I could write an entire book, but it would never be published because they would never run the risk of publishing it. Oh, we can't print that. Why not? It's what was said. Why can't you print it? Because of the polarization and stuff like that. So I hope we've helped Colin tonight, and I hope we've helped many Arsenal fans, and I hope they've enjoyed the show. And it's like now, well, a bit like Cinderella, really, where she's got to get back before midnight before she turns into a pumpkin. In our case, we are in the car now, going to the ball. In our case now, we are in the car. We are going to the ball, and we got to turn up, because next season's Champions League will be unrecognisable, where it won't matter who wins, who loses, who does what. It will become a closed shop. And I'll sign off with this. Both started in the 1955-1956 season. There have been only 23 winners of the European Cup/Champions League. We are not one of them. But we've had almost half of that time, just under half of that time we've had in terms of experience. And it's embarrassing. It's absolutely embarrassing how we have used the most precious European trophy as a cash cow. If Arsenal have got any heart, any desire, this is our last chance to win it. So we've got to take it. And to win it in our own backyard of North London at Wembley, well, I think that would make up for all the near misses, wouldn't you? And wouldn't it be typical Arsenal right at the last knock-ins to win it? And we've got to take the first step on Wednesday night. I sincerely hope that I'm not previewing a defeat ahead of the home leg that I'm going to. I sincerely hope that when we do a reaction show, regardless of what happens, whether it's being eliminated from the Champions League or previewing the potential quarter-final after the draw, I sincerely hope that I'm not saying I told you so. I think we'll get through against Porto. I think we'll be 1-1 in Porto and 2-1 in London. And then we are only in the quarterfinals. We've been in the quarterfinals before. 2002, 2009, 2006. Been here before. But this is the last chance. And for all the Arsenal fans saying, oh, if we get knocked out of the Champions League, it might help the league. If we don't win anything, history will judge us that we have not won anything for 4 seasons. They are not going to care about goal contributions. They're not going to care about surface level goal contributions, pre-assist jargon. The history will show that Arsenal participated in the Champions League for about 27 years and never won it. That is what the history books will show. And that is the most damaging. This really is the last chance. And Wednesday is the first step. It really is. Because if we don't win it, then there's no point being in it next year. Really, there's no point being in it next year. Literally, next year is just a closed shop, is what it is next year, under the guise of a Swiss system. That's what it is. But you imagine transferring that to society and social mobility. You imagine, oh, sorry, sir, you stay down here. This is you. But no, I'm talented and I want to get on. No, you stay down here. This is you. It's very dangerous, isn't it?
Yeah.
Very, very dangerous.
Yeah.
And we've got a chance now to add our name to the history books. We can be the 24th team to win the European Cup/Champions League. We can be that, but we've got to all stick together. Every single one of us. Primarily those in North London. Not bothered about Bangkok, not bothered about Shanghai, not bothered about Milan or Berlin. Couldn't give two hoots about that. This is Dial Square calling, and we've never won this competition, and this is our last chance. I'll sign off with your famous quote, there is no tomorrow, the time is now.
Well, emphatic message there, James. Dearie me. On that note, we'll come to an end on this one, unless there's been any more. Colin just says, the XG Cup. Anyway, go on, James.
Who are you trying to kid? Who are you trying to kid? The most important that is the score. Honestly, who are you trying to kid?
Dear.
As I say, we've got our memories. Nobody can take them away from us. Thank goodness.
So unfortunately, James won't be joining me for the instant post-game reaction after the FC Porto game. But James will be coming for the return to London for the return leg.
Yes.
And we'll be doing some content for that match there. James, as always, it's been a pleasure sharing the right colours.
Yeah, no, it's brilliant. It's fantastic,
rainbow.
Yellow and blue, red and white.
Yeah, brilliant. Lovely contrast.
You know, I hope we've helped Colin tonight. I hope the Arsenal fans watching, anyone that thinks, status, I've got to buy the latest shirt, £80 for a print-on badge. As you can see, what we're wearing tonight is sewn on.
Exactly. Well said, James. Well said.
So, you know.
Yeah.
This one's lasted 20 years. You've had yours for many, many years. They both look fantastic. And, I look forward to previewing the home leg and looking forward to speaking to you. And I just hope that, I sincerely hope that after the Porto game, the home leg, that we are doing a show previewing the quarterfinal. And I sincerely hope, but we'll do a show regardless, whether we get through or whether we don't.
Yeah, absolutely.
There'll need to be a recap.
Absolutely.
But, Sociedad, my predictions might not bear fruit, but they were excellent in the first half against Paris Saint-Germain.
But it's not over yet, James. It's not over.
It's not over yet, but they were excellent. Yeah, but people need to remember, at Real Sociedad, it's only 21 years ago that non-Basque players were allowed to play for them. So look at the progression they've made within that time. It's absolutely amazing. And I watched their manager along the touchline, Imanol Alguacil, and simplicity. Just simple instructions. Being able to stand still, my breath was taken away. He can stand still. He can stand still and make the point to the player without going bananas. It's amazing. But again, maybe people don't look at what we're looking at, but we are often right, and I feel we're going to be proved right again this time round.
James, a quick question before you go. Yeah. What's going to be more important? Actually, what is more important for you? That the fan base comes together, or that Arsenal finally wins, whether it be the Champions League or the Premier League that we haven't won in over 20 years? What's going to be more important for you?
Well, first of all, I would give my right arm to win the Champions League. First and foremost, I'd give my right arm. You know, to be a fan of a club that's won it must be an amazing.
Yeah.
Must be an amazing feeling. And I don't think that this global fan network can come together. I don't think it can. I think the intricacies of it don't allow it. And I think it's been manufactured. I think it's been manufactured. I really do. And you know, we are Londoners. Arsenal's a massive part of our life. If Arsenal was moved to San Francisco or LA or New York, that's it for us.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
You know, and the fact remains is Dial Square, Royal Arsenal. You know, it's just heritage, history. But we're in a situation now where people pick and choose.
Yeah.
People pick, but you can't erase history. You can't get rid of it. Laurie Cunningham was at Arsenal. The first English player to ever play for Real Madrid was at our club. Went on to have an amazing career, but was discarded at Arsenal because, I quote, "We don't want none of that fancy dance stuff here." Went on to have an amazing career. I still remember the quote from, I think it was Mark Bray, and he said that Laurie Cunningham was the first footballer he ever heard speak a foreign language. But not only that, he was amazing, and he was. And
do you know what, James? Can I be cynical, James? Can I be cynical? I can imagine now the people watching our show probably thinking, "Who's Laurie Cunningham?"
Well, you've got this invention called YouTube, where you can go back in time. You can go back in time in milliseconds and see who he is. I first discovered who he was in Real Madrid's museum when I went there in 2007. You know, he played for West Brom against Valencia in the UEFA Cup, and he tore him to shreds. And Real Madrid looked and thought, "We'll have him," and they picked him up. Simple, isn't it? Simple. None of this XG stat rubbish. They know a good player when they see one, so go and pick him up. And that will never go out of fashion, Alex. Never. I went to see Telstar the other day against Helmand Sports. There's a player, number 2, called Jay Cadalver. Come for the youth set up at Ajax and Volendam. Brilliant footballer. Currently playing in the Dutch First Division. I added him to my book, and I'll follow his career.
Brilliant. Listen, we've come to an end on this one. James, again, always a pleasure listening to you talk about your vast bandwidth of knowledge of Arsenal as well as football. And those who tune in, you'll see James again very, very soon for the return leg, Arsenal at home. James, thank you very much, James.
You're more than welcome. The time is now. There is no tomorrow. Let's finally win the Champions League, and not on the PlayStation.
James. This has been Cannon Fodder, the channel for Arsenal fans all over this world.